dear students. In the last class, we have discussed about removal of directors. So, in today's class, I will be explaining about duties of directors. So, when I speak about duties of directors, as per the Companies Act 2013, there are two types of duties to be performed by the director, which is classified into statutory duties and general duties. So, there are two types of duties to be performed by the director, that is statutory duties and general duties. So let us discuss in detail statutory duties, that is first one. So what is statutory duties? Those duties and obligation imposed by the Companies Act 2013. So those duties are called as statutory duties. So duties which are imposed by the Companies Act of 2013. So under statutory duties, first one we are going to learn about duties under section 166. Under that, first one, duties under section 166 means as per the article of association of the company, following duties have been performed by the directors. So firstly, duty of good faith. As you all know that the director should act in good faith. Why he has to act in good faith? Especially to promote the object of the company. So in order to promote the objects of the company, or he should serve the best interest of the company or the employees or the shareholders and the entire community, and he should protect the environment also. So duty of good faith is nothing but the director should act in good faith, especially they want to promote the object of the company, or they want to serve the community or the employees or the shareholders, or it could be the entire company, etc., or they want to protect the environment. Secondly, duty of reasonable care. So when I speak about duty of reasonable care, the director shall exercise his duty with the reasonable care, skill, and he has to draw independent judgment. So he has to exercise his duties with the utmost care and skill, and he has to draw independent judgment. Thirdly, duty not to involve in conflict of interest. So what is this? See, sometimes there is a situation wherein which the conflicts with the interest of the company, whether it may be direct or indirect. So the situation, it's like it leads to conflicts with the interest of the company. So a director, he should not involve in such situation in which indirectly or directly conflicts with the interest of the company. So that is one of the prime most duty. Duty not to gain advantage or duty not to obtain advantage. So it is the director of a company should not achieve, or he should not make an attempt to achieve any undue advantage either to himself or maybe his relatives or partners, etc. So the main duty of the director is he should not either attempting, or he should not gain or obtain advantage, undue advantage, either to himself or his relatives or partners, etc. Next, duty not to assign his office. So what is this? See here, the company director shall not assign his office to any other person. So if such assignment which is invalid as per the Companies Act 2013. So director does not have any authority to delegate his power to other person or assign his work or the office to other person. If such assignments are there, they are considered to be invalid. Next, penalty for contravention. If the director commits any default in performance of his duties as per section 166, then he'll be punishable with the imprisonment of rupees 1 lakh, or which may extend to rupees 5 lakh. So what is the punishment if he commits any default with regard to duty as per section 166? He is punishable with a fine of rupees 1 lakh, which might be extended to rupees 5 lakh also. So this is about duties under section 166, duty of good faith, duty of reasonable care, duty not to involve in conflict of interest, duty not to obtain advantage, duty not to assign his office to other person, penalty for contravention. Next, secondly, duty to file return of allotment. So as we all know that as per the Companies Act 2013, every company has to file with the registrar the return of allotment within a period of 30 days. So it is the duty of the company as well as the director, they have to file with the registrar within a period of 30 days the return of allotment. So if they fail to do so, if they fail to file such return, then the company as well as its officer who is in default will be held liable. So if they fail to file the return of allotment with the registrar within a period of 30 days, then they will be held liable. So what is their liability? So they will be liable for a fine of ₹1000 per day till the default continues. So from the day of default till it continues, they are held liable for 1000 per day, or ₹1 lakh, whichever is less. So the duty to file return of allotment is nothing but it is the duty of the company to file with the registrar of company the return of allotment within a period of 30 days. If they fail to do so, then they are held liable for the penalty of ₹1000 per day till the day of default, which continues, or ₹1 lakh, whichever is less. That is about second point. Third one, duty to convene meetings. So director, it is the duty of the director to convey annual general meeting and extraordinary general meeting of the company. So he has to convey the annual general meeting and the extraordinary general meeting of the company. Point number 4, duty to prepare and place the director's report at the AGM. So here the director has to prepare the report and place this director's report containing all the particulars, specified particulars at the annual general meeting of the company along with other financial statement or the auditor's report. So it is the duty of the director. He has to prepare the report and he has to place the report at the annual general meeting time along with other documents in the financial statement or the auditor's report. Fifth one, duty to authenticate annual financial statement. So here the director has to check the validity of the annual financial statement or the genuinity. Are they exactly showing the financial position of the company? So what is the genuinity of the financial statement? So that must be checked by the director. So it is the duty of the director to check the genuinity of the annual financial statements. Duty to appoint the first auditor of the company. So here the director has to appoint the first auditor of the company complying with all the provisions of the Companies Act 2013. Duty to appoint the cost auditor. As you all know that cost auditor, he will represent the verification of cost accounting or cost accounting principles. So here the cost auditor is also being appointed by the director of the company. Duty to attend board meeting. So here sometimes the company holds board meeting. So here the director has to attend the board meeting from time to time. Suppose imagine if the director is absent for the board meeting, especially for a period of 12 months, with or without seeking leave of absence. Suppose if the director is absent for a period of 12 months, with or without seeking a leave of absence. In such a case, his office shall automatically fall vacant. So he will be removed from the office of the company. So that is duty to attend the board meeting. Ninth one, duty to disclose interest. What is this? Duty to disclose interest means, suppose if a director is interested in the transaction of the company, he must disclose his interest to the board in the board meeting. Suppose if the director is interested in the company's transaction, he has to disclose this matter to the board at the time of board meeting. Suppose if he fails to do, what will happen? Then he will be punishable with the imprisonment for a term of 1 year or ₹50,000 or both. So punishable with the imprisonment for a term of 1 year or ₹50,000 or both, and this 50,000 penalty which might be extended to ₹1 lakh also. So there is a chance. Next one, duty to disclose receipts from transfer of property. Now imagine if any money is received by the director from the transferee in connection with the interest of the company's property. Suppose if any amount is received by the director from the transferee, especially in connection with the interest of company's property, then it is the duty of the director to disclose that information to the members of the company, and it must be approved in the general meeting of the company. What does it mean? if any amount is received by the director from the transferee which is in connection with the interest of the company's property, then he has to disclose this matter to the member of the company, and that must be approved in the general meeting of the company. Suppose if he commits any default, what will happen? He will be punishable with a fine of rupees 25,000, or which might be extended to rupees 1 lakh also. So what is the penalty? 25,000, and it can be extended to rupees 1 lakh also. Next, last one, duty to make declaration of solvency. Now here the director, especially in case of voluntary winding up means the company's business are going to close, or they are going to close the business of the company. So during the voluntary winding up process, it is the duty of the director to make the declaration of solvency. So this is all regarding statutory duties. So in my next topic, it's general duties. So there are certain general duties must be performed by the director. So it's actually self-explanatory, must not be negligent. So director should not be negligent in performing his duties, and he has to attend board meeting. It is compulsory that he has to attend the board meeting from time to time. Next, third one, not to delegate their powers. So here the director, as I explained in one of the points, previous slide, the director should not delegate his power to any other person. He does not enjoy the delegation of authority. He does not have any right to delegate his authority or powers to the other person. So when I speak about delegation of authority, he should not delegate his power. It is a well-known maxim which is applicable to the director. Delegators non-protest delegate. So what does this maxim says? Delegators non-protest delegate, which means a delegatee cannot delegate further. So what does it mean? A delegatee cannot delegate his authority to any other person. So he should not delegate his power to some other person. So the maxim is delegators non-protest delegate. So this is about appointment of directors. Thank you.